So today we're going to be working on the glutes. We're going to start with a little rolling as we generally do, but I will say that we'll probably spend more time on some different strengthening variations today. I want to do stuff against the wall to give some different variations for glute exercises, more therapeutic glute exercises that people probably have done if they've been in therapy or rehab for some sort of injury before, and kind of put a new spin on those so that you really learn how to recruit and utilize your glutes better. So that's the general theme for today. The main things I'll be using are going to be an alpha ball or a softball size ball. If you don't have an alpha ball, that's totally fine. We have a couple of variations. Maybe actually, yeah, I think that's fine. And then I'm going to be using a set of therapy balls. And then I just have a Coregeous ball and a block, more as props for me to just position my head, to put between my ankles, kind of as accessory things. A rolled up towel will do, any ball will do. So those are the things that I have for today. Does anyone have any particular requests, questions, things they're dealing with right now that I should be aware of before we begin so that I can address your needs? Feel free to share, or you can also write in the chat if there's anything you want to say, either publicly or privately to me. So does that sound like a good plan? Make sure that you're nearby a wall. You have a free wall nearby. We'll start on the wall and then probably spend the second half of the class by the wall. Perfect. Okay, let's begin. Let's start with the alpha ball, and let's take the alpha ball over to the wall. Some of you that have been with me before have probably done this. This is just a really great way to start, to warm up the glutes and stimulate some proprioceptive awareness. So take your alpha ball or your standard therapy ball, whatever you have, and just take it right into your glute. Pick a side, doesn't matter which, and we'll just start by sweeping. So today, as we go into this rolling, we're going to move a little quicker with the sweep than I normally move. I tend to have a little bit more of a restorative approach to when I'm rolling, but we're trying to stimulate the glutes to get them online with today's class. Oh, just hold, keep on going. I'm just going to make sure all the participants are muted so that I stay on your screen and there's no feedback. But please, please note that if you have any questions at any time, feel free to ask. So a little sweeping across the glutes, so a little bit more fluid and maybe a little quicker than I would normally do. And then you can do a little up and down as well, zigzagging across the glute. And come all the way to the outside, right behind the bony part of the hip, and then traverse your way back. Pausing. Any particular spots of sensation. Maybe doing a couple circles. And think of this about waking up the glutes a little. So bringing more awareness to that area. Now angle yourself towards the side of the wall. And now I want you to kind of create a little circle right around the greater trochanter, the lateral hip bone. And if you circle one direction, try the other. And if at any time you feel like the light isn't great, I normally close the curtain, but I've been trying to keep it open lately. So if you feel like I'm washed out, please tell me, and I will certainly close the curtain if you can't see me well. Great, so that was probably about 2 minutes or so. Let's go to the other side. So now coming to the opposite side, staying outside or lateral of the sacrum, just moving along the whole gluteal area for sweeping. Bringing awareness and sensation into that space. Bless you. And then a little up and down. Think about making it fluid motion, kind of like a warm-up, increasing blood flow to the area. And then zigzagging up and down. Just exploring. And then when you're ready, angling towards the wall, turning towards the side, not rolling over the bony part of the hip, but right around, circling around the greater trochanter of the hip. Those attachment points for all the hip rotators and the gluteals. Just a few more seconds, the last pass along wherever you feel like you need to awaken. And then release, and just stand, and just notice if it feels any different than when you began. Great. So that's a really nice, quick warm-up. If you're a runner, that's a really nice thing to do too before you go for a run, because it's just gonna help light up those stabilizing muscles so that they can then work a little better. So let's put aside that bigger ball, and let's take one of our standard size therapy balls, and we're gonna lie on our backs, and we're gonna use a little contract relax now to fire up those glutes a little bit more. So lie down, please, knees bent. I'm gonna start with the side towards you, so I'm gonna take the ball right into the middle of my left glute. My right knee is staying bent, and then my left leg is straightening. And see if you can relax your body into the weight of the ball. This actually feels a little nicer than it would if I hadn't rolled first. I can already feel that difference since I have the kind of muscle memory to note back to that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squeeze my left glute as hard as I can. It's almost gonna push the ball out. And I'm gonna hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then I'm gonna release. And I'm gonna allow the glute to sink and soften so I can get the ball a little bit deeper now. And I'm gonna do that 2 more times, just using a little contract relax. Squeezing the glute. This time when you squeeze it, try to get even more fibers, more motor units to come online so that you awaken even more musculature in the gluteal muscles. And then release. Dropping back in. Find one more place to squeeze. As you squeeze, try to get every single fiber of your left glute to contract, contracting so much that it pushes the ball out from your glutes. Hold for 5, 4, 3, Keep squeezing, squeezing. Last full squeeze, all fibers, and then slowly release into the ball. Bend your left knee again. We're gonna stay on the left. Now we're gonna come into the hip rotators a little bit. The abductors, the rotators. So I'm gonna bring my left knee out to the side. And my left knee is not reaching the ground yet because my pelvis is still level. But now I'm gonna rotate to the left side a little bit so that as I rotate to the left side, my left knee actually comes to the floor now. I'll move my props so that you can see more easily. And so now my right knee is kind of pointing straight up. My left knee is pushing down to the ground. What I want you to do is in this rotated position now, squeeze your buttocks, find that just right spot for the ball, squeeze your buttocks to push the ball out. Also, push your knee, push your shin, push your outer thigh into the floor. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. That might have felt a little bit different, maybe even a little crampy. Here we got a little bit more into the abduction and rotational range of the hip. And we're using the floor to push into. Find that just right spot for the ball. 2 more rounds. Squeeze the glute, push your leg down, almost feel how you lift yourself up off the ball by tightening the glutes. For 5, for 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. Nice work. Last round. Find that just right spot. If you need to move it at all, please feel free to do so. Squeezing the butt. Now feeling all of the fibers of the glutes come online. Push your left knee down. Push your left shin down. Engage the backside of the left hip. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and release. Come back to center. Release the ball from your behind. Straighten both legs out just for a minute. And now notice the difference in sensation between the left and the right. Just observe the change in how it feels. The side that we just did, that we actually just contracted, might feel softer, might feel deflated, which is a great thing. That means it's responded and returned to its resting tone, resting length. So now it has a better ability to contract and then swing into relaxation. So let's come to the right side, or the side you didn't do yet. Place the ball right in the middle of the right glute. Bend the left knee. Now straighten out the right leg. Just let the weight of your body drop onto the ball. Squeeze your buttocks on the right. Push the ball out by tightening and clenching the glute as hard as you can, getting as many fibers to contract for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. Letting the ball sink in, relaxing all the way. 2 more times just like that. Squeeze, hold, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then relax. Last round. Get every fiber of the glute to engage, pushing the ball out by tightening, feeling all of those motor units of the muscles fire. Feeling the front of the hip push forward, bringing you a bit more into hip extension, lengthening, releasing the front of the hip on the right. 2, 1, and then release. Releasing all the way, or all your weight into the ball, feeling softening in all of the glutes. Bend your right knee now. Now, let the right knee fall out to the side. The leg's not quite touching the floor yet, so roll the pelvis over to the right now. Left knee is still pointing towards the ceiling. And then the right knee, shin, and hip are on the floor. Reposition your therapy ball to that just right spot in the back of the right hip. And now squeeze the right glute, push the right knee down, hold that, engage for 5, 4, keep pushing down, keep tightening, really focus on the right glute engaging for 3, 2, 1, and then release. Activating those rotators, those deep rotator muscles of the hips now. 2 more rounds. Push the knee out, push the shin into the floor, externally rotate the right leg, and then activate the back of the hip. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. One more round. Squeeze. Press the right leg down. Really push into the floor, pushing the knee out on the right side, engaging the glute, every fiber coming online, feeling different sensations and activation now in the right gluteal muscles. For 3, 2, 1, and then release. Coming back to center, removing the props and just taking a moment to rest on the earth. Feel the pelvis really heavy and relaxed now. So after contraction, allow for relaxation. And as you're ready, we have one more rolling, contract, relax type sequence on our bellies. So this is actually one of my favorites. One of the reasons a lot of us can't use our glutes well are because our hip flexors are tight. So we don't work well, those muscles don't recruit well in that range. So if our hips are tight, we can't extend our hip well. Then we can't get good activation of the musculature there because the muscles are long and weak. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna inhibit the hip flexors so that we can better activate the glutes, so that we can progress that hip extension range of motion. So I'm gonna use the alpha ball for this. So I'm gonna come onto my belly with the alpha ball right into the hip flexor area. So right into the psoas, above the crease of the hip, and right inside of that front bony hip point, the ASIS, right here on my belly. If you don't have an alpha ball and you just have the standard size balls, take the standard ball and place it on a block or a book just so that it's a little higher. And that should work just as well. It might be a little bit more tender because it's smaller. So the smaller surface area makes it a little bit more local, but it works just as well. So on your belly, right to the inside of the ASIS, or that bony hip point above the crease of the hip, and just allow yourself to melt into the floor. You may curl the toes under and just pedal up and down a little to find that just right spot of sensation for you. And just allow the ball to make its way into your pelvis. Take a few deep breaths.
So because this is this range is often lacking for many of us, this is a hard place to train the glutes. So we'll do this last release, kind of neuromuscular release would be the right way to sort of say, because we're using contract relax principles. And then we're going to start by engaging the glutes in a bent knee position, which will be a lot easier for most of us because we won't be in that part of the range of motion that's insufficient. So we'll start in the strong part of the range, and then we'll work out to this range. Just allow yourself to sink over the ball, focusing on your breath. Letting gravity, weight, and time do the work. And now curl the right toes under, or the side, whichever the ball is in. Squeeze the right thigh. Squeeze your right glute. So now contract the back body here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release back into the ball. We'll do that 2 more times, then we'll continue to progress. And note how that glute contraction felt. Squeeze your thigh, squeeze your glute, hold. And then release. One more time like this. Squeeze the thigh, squeeze your glute, hold, activate the whole leg. And then release. We're going to start the same way and then add on. Squeeze your thigh, squeeze your glute, point your toe. So now you hover the leg. Try not to arch your back. Try to keep the back long, just the glute is firing to lift your leg. For 5, squeeze right here. 3, 2, 1. Keep the toe pointed, let the leg come down. Without moving the back, just lift the leg up, lift the leg down. Do that again. Lift your leg up, just squeezing the glute. Lift your leg down. Lift up and down. Notice if the range improves with repetition. Last time. And down. Beautiful. Remove the ball. Hips rest on the earth. Feel the difference now between the front of the left and the right hip. And then switch sides. Bring the ball into the front of the opposite hip, just to the inside of the bony point of the pelvis, above the hip crease. Maybe just move yourself up and down a little bit, in and out a little bit. Find that just right spot. You'll know when you find it. And that initial sensation will feel maybe a little bit sharp, like a little like a bright light kind of go on right there. And let yourself come down to the floor as you can. And then take a few deep breaths, feeling the breath kind of dissipate that sensation. So with each breath, feel that bright, local, sharp sensation start to spread. So the radius of it broadens, the intensity of it lessens, And it's like it becomes diluted so that eventually it's just the sensation of the ball resting against the body. Take 3 more deep letting go breaths here. Now curl the left toes under, or whichever side you're on. Squeeze the left thigh. Squeeze your left glutes. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. Let's do that 2 more times. Squeeze the thigh. Squeeze the glute. Try to get all those muscle motor units to fire for 3, 2, 1, and then release. Last round. Curl the toes, squeeze the thigh, squeeze your behind. Even feel your belly kick in just a little bit. The glutes and the abdominals work together, which you'll see in the next exercise. And release. Adding on. Curl the toes under. Squeeze your thigh. Squeeze your behind. Point your toe so the whole back of the left leg engages. Lift up just a little bit from the hip. Try not to move or involve the back. Get every glute fiber to fire for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then lower down. Keep the toes pointed. Lift it up and down. Lift it up and down. Up. Feel that range of motion progress. Every time, see if you can go a tiny bit higher. Just the glute engaging. Progressing the range that that muscle can fire in. 2 more times. Last round, and release. Great work. Taking all of the tools out. Just pause on your belly for just a second. Feel the openness in the front of the hips. Maybe reposition them and feel how there's a little bit more hip extension now. Okay. Now here's where the real work comes. Let's come over to the wall. And from the wall, we're going to get some really get some glute activation. We're going to use either a block or a ball. I'm going to use my Gorgeous ball for between my knees to begin. We're done with the other therapy balls, so you can leave those behind. Now we're getting into more recruitment strategies. So we're going to begin on our backs, legs on the wall at 90 degrees. If you have socks on, I would recommend taking them off just so that you can grip the wall with your feet. So my legs are just like I'm sitting in a chair, squeezing the ball squeezing my knees into a ball or into a block or towel. I'll wait to arrive. Perfect, nice work. So now, push your feet into the wall, like you're stomping on the wall without pushing yourself away. Then, drag your heels down the wall, kind of like you're trying to do a hamstring curl. And as you do that hamstring curl, you'll feel the pelvis scoop a little bit and the belly turn on. So just do that again for me. Push the feet into the wall, Drag the heels down, feel the scoop of the pelvis, and hold there. Now just take a breath in. And then as you exhale, feel the ribs pull down towards the abdomen. Belly engaged. So hamstrings engaged with the heels digging, belly engaged here. Squeeze the ball just a little bit. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, lift the knees up towards the ceiling. Feel the glutes start to recruit. You're in like a half bridge right now. Breathe in here. Exhale, curl the tailbone under more. Drag the heels down more. Lift up a little higher. Hold. One more round. We're doing a progressive bridge. Pull the belly in. Heels push into the wall. Feel the knees lift and the butt engage. So the hips are extending as I'm lifting. So you see, lift this up so you can see my low back a little bit better. And then I'm lowering down. Let's do that one more time. Just like that. So we'll do about 3 or 4 breaths to rise, and then we'll lower back down. So I'm pushing my feet into the wall, dragging my heels down. As I drag my heels down, I get a tucking of the tailbone, a back top pocket pull. My belly engages. Little squeeze on the ball, breathe in. As I exhale, push my feet into the wall, knees lift up, belly hollows out. Breathe in here into that lifted position. 3 more breaths. Heels drag down as knees lift up, tucking the tailbone. Feel the belly, feel the glutes, feel the hamstrings engage. 2 more breaths. Little bit higher, and then release. And now, that was kind of our prep. That was symmetrical, but it doesn't really carry over to functional movement. Because when we're doing functional movement, we're usually in a diagonal pattern. So now we're going to do that bridge as a single leg bridge. So hug your left knee into your chest. Without using your hands, just use your abdominals to pull the left knee into your chest. And here, feel how you get that little scoop of the belly. And that automatically almost makes you engage the right glute. So we're going to do the same thing, but now one knee pulling to the chest, and then the right heel digging into the floor. So we're going to feel an opposite direction and then really get a nice lighting up of the right butt. So let's do that together for 5 breaths. Left knee into your chest, right heel into the wall. Take a breath in. As you exhale, left knee comes up, right knee towards the ceiling. Hold. Exhale. Engage the belly, lift a little bit more. One more breath. And then lower down. If you like that and you want to add even one more element to it to really make it feel like you're walking or running, take the right arm and reach the right arm towards the ceiling so that you get a little bit of a twist through the chest, a little bit more oblique activation from the right rib to the left hip. So let's try that. Exhale, dig through the right foot. Three more breaths. Left knee to chest. Feel the abdominals engage. Right hip extends. And then lower down. Beautiful. Other side. Now press the left foot into the wall. Pull the right knee into your chest. Dig the left heel towards the floor, so drag the left heel down. Feel the back pocket tuck. Feel the right abdominals engage. You can start here if you want. You can bring the left arm up right away. We'll do 3 rounds.
Exhale, push through the left, pull through the right. Feel the belly engage, feel the left butt engage. Right knee pulls to the chest. 2 more breaths. And then release. Great work. I'm sweating. I don't know if it's from the work or the sun being right on my face. This is definitely good work. So I hope you're feeling it too. 2 more rounds on this side. Press, dig down through the left heel. Get a little tuck of the tailbone. Feel the hamstrings and the glute fire. Pull the right knee into your chest, even deepen that abdominal hollow. Now, if you'd like to engage the left arm, go ahead and reach the left arm towards the ceiling. Breathe in, exhale, start to lift. Each exhale is progressive. And release. I hope everyone's feeling this. This is really important too, especially for people that have SI problems or hypermobility problems, to be able to maintain contraction and still breathe. So last round here. Left arm reaches, even reach the shoulder blade off the floor, kind of crossing the arm across midline. Pull the right knee towards the left elbow. Drive through the left heel. Exhale and start to rise. Two more breaths. Exhaling through the mouth. And then lowering down. Wonderful work. And you might have noticed that as you did each repetition, you started getting higher and higher and higher because those muscles started to turn online and firing better. So now we're going to finish by coming into the side body. So we're going to come onto our sides and come into that clamshell activation, which probably a lot of you have kind of done, just lifted the leg up and down, up and down. This is going to be a much more effective version of that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to place a block against the wall, and then I'm going to place a ball between my feet for this particular variation. You could do a block under, over. You could just do a ball between. Really whatever you have, or a towel roll in between. Just something to keep me more hip distance. And the reason I'm doing this is because if you notice, when this top knee comes down, it's going to bring me into an internally rotated position. So that as I do the activity, I'm going to go through more range than I would normally go through. So come onto your side. And same position at that 90-degree angle here. Now push both heels into the wall. And you'll notice as you push both heels into the wall, you get that scoop of the tailbone. The tailbone reaches towards the knees. Engage the belly. You may even take your top hand and place it right on the low back and sacrum as a kind of a touchstone to make sure you're not extending through the spine or moving the pelvis. Now keep your big toes planted onto the wall. Take a breath in. Exhale, engage the belly. And then lift your top knee up. Really dig both feet into the wall. Do that again. Can you lift up a little bit more? Feeling the left glute fire. One more time. Lifting a little higher. And then release all the way. Let's do that 2 more times. Push the heels into the wall. Get a little tuck of the tailbone. Push your big toes into the wall. Breathe in as you exhale, engage the belly. First, recruiting the abdominals, stabilizing the spine, then lift your knee. Do that again. Lift a little higher. Do that again. Lift a little higher. Hold for 3. Hold for 2. Feel the glute. 3, 2, 1, and then release. One more round here. And notice if on this last round you're like, wow, I'm going so much further than the first repetition. That's going to regain range of motion. So as we can recruit those muscle fibers better, get those patterns in our body, we can start move through better range. So push your heels into the wall. Push the big toes into the wall. Tuck the tailbone, engage the belly, hollow up the belly. Breathe in through your nose. Exhale through the mouth. Lift your top knee. Do that again. One more round. And then release. Nice work. Don't move anything except the top leg. Keep your bottom foot pushing into the wall and see if you can now lift the top leg up towards the sky. Sorry, not towards the sky, up onto the wall. So now push your foot onto the wall, and as you push your whole foot onto the wall, see how that pulls the pelvis forward? Kind of feel yourself push the wall away. So push out through the pinky toe, and now you're in the end range of abduction. So now we're on our end range. And now from here, push the bottom foot into the wall to stabilize you. Engage the glutes and see if you can hover your left leg just an inch off of the wall. For 3, reach through the heel. For 2, really fire up the glute. For 1, and then release. It should feel hard. The next 2 should actually get easier as you do them. Make sure you stabilize yourself by pushing your bottom foot into the wall, engaging the belly, drawing the top hip forward. Reach through the heel of your top foot, of your left foot, and then now hover the leg off the wall. Reach through the heel for 5, for 4. Keep the belly engaged. Keep the low back long. For 2. Last 1. And release. Great work. One more round. Bottom foot pushes. Top hip moves forward. Kind of that hip bone goes down a little bit towards the other. Reach through the heel of your top leg. Drive your heel and your pinky toe into the wall, and then hover. Keep breathing. And release. Nice work. Let's hit the other side. I think I'm going to try to do it like this for you so you can still see me a bit and get a different angle. So now, my left foot is on a block. And then the ball is between my feet. Get yourself positioned like you're sitting in a chair. Wait till I see you there. Great. So once you arrive, push both feet into the wall.
As you push your feet into the wall, feel that chain reaction come up the legs so that you get a little tuck of the back pockets, so a little posterior pelvic tilt and a hollowing out of the little abdomen. Take a breath in. Exhale, engage and stabilize the core. Then lift your top knee. Keep both big toes digging into the wall. Breathe in again. Exhale, lift the top knee a little bit more. One more round. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and then release. We'll do 2 more rounds of that, trying to progress the range. Push your feet into the wall. Tuck the tail. Breath drives the motion. Breathe in. Exhale, engage the abdominals. Lift the top knee. Lift again. Exhale, then lift. Hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then release. Last round like this. Almost there. Push your heels into the wall. Engage the belly. Exhale. Stabilize and lift your knee. Exhale, lift one more time. Hold, hold, hold. Feel the glutes and release. Last exercise. Top leg comes up towards the wall. Keep pushing through your bottom foot, still like you're sitting in a chair. The right leg or the top leg is reaching out through your heel. Now you're in a straight line position. Stabilize the core and the standing leg, which is the bottom leg, the left. Now push through your heel and hover the right leg off the wall. Reaching through the heel, reaching away, just a half-inch lift. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and then release. Nice job. 2 more rounds just like that. Push. Left foot into the wall. Push the right hip forward just a little bit. Hover, lifting through the right heel. Hold for 5. Hold for 4. For 3, 2, 1, and release. Last round, last exercise, last round. Push away, lift, really reach through the heel. You don't have to go really high. I want you to think long with the right side. Straight line from the crown of your head to the heel of your foot, and release. Come all the way down. Great. And then come all the way back up to sitting. Maybe for a moment as you come to sitting, maybe you would feel really nice just to finish by coming to hands and knees, doing a couple circles, and then sitting to child's pose just for a second to reset. Let your breath come back to normal. Take as much time as you need there. Feeling the breath settle. Feeling the sensation in the hips. Release. Let go and dissipate, coming back to a restful, balanced state. And when you're ready, returning to sitting.
Thank you.